Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.
We've been speaking with the Chief Executive Officer of Brooks and Blake, Taiwo Ogunwunmi. Welcome back.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
How do you manage negative perception and stereotypes about Nigeria and Nigerians in PR?
Well, that's an interesting question. Nigeria has to solve Nigeria's problems. Do we have problems? Yes. However, we also have a lot of opportunities. The question is which we choose to use to enhance our image, or the one that we choose to draw it down. You know, it's a question of choice. We need to decide, both as a government policy or individual decision, that we must tell good stories over and over again. We've seen from time that nobody's going to come and tell our story for us. We need to build it internally, agree as a collective to tell the good stories, and do well by minimizing, mitigating, or providing justice for the ones that are bad, such that eventually there's always something good that comes from those unfortunate incidents. It has to be a decision that needs to be made as a collective, but individually, each one of us sitting here in this interview have to understand that we owe it the responsibility to ourselves, to our community, and children unborn, to provide a positive view of the country that we were born in. You know, it's a necessity. Now, don't get me wrong. People have the right to feel the pains of injustice and to voice it out. The question is, what do we do with all of that, right? We have too much at stake, as we've seen as a country and as a people, that we need to dedicate ourselves to rewriting that narrative positively, and we can. I believe we can.
Okay, do you think we'll be finding a balance and doing justice and not looking deceptive if we only tell one side of the story and not the other side of the story?
One way or the other, we have a story to tell. It's what we choose to hero. Like I said, it's what we choose to give air to. And we are not negating the negatives, but saying that we need to also find a way to have conversations about correcting the wrong, but correcting it amongst ourselves in such a way that if there's a good that comes out of that, that becomes the positive story that we would laud, you know, and not the negative one. Is there a need for us to have fair judgments and proper treatment of one another? 100%. You know, but there's also the social contract bit, which all of us have a responsibility towards, in ensuring that the legal system works, the judicial system works, the political system works, you know, things work right. And there's a fight there, right? And people have a right to fight that. But people also have a responsibility to talk about the good things, not in a naive way, but knowing that there's still a lot more work to do. So as with every community or every country, there are the negatives, but it's a question of the choice for which to sell what product to the rest of the world.
What sets Brooks and Blake apart from other PR firms?
Well, I would say one is a clear vision of where we're going. And then secondly, we are unforgiving about excellence and value. We're unforgiving about excellence and value. We want the best for everything that has an impact on us or influences us, whether it be the clients or the way that we work internally or every individual here. I read a book, Good to Great, right? And Jim Collins And there was something he said in that book, that everyone needs to find what makes them special. To us, it's the fountain of youthfulness within the team and the decision to be excellent at everything that we do. That singular decision, of course, is rounded with quite a lot of positive arguments, positive reinforcements, processes, beliefs, trust in each other and so on, that delivers that excellence. Those singular factors that makes a whole are the things that every day we try to strengthen to ensure that we can achieve excellence in everything that we do. We've been here a while. We're going to be here a while. Our trust, obviously, in God, that we do everything right and there's a reward for it. And our belief in our ability to do quality work that's of global standards at every turn. That is our driving force, and that's what sets us apart.
Can you share with us some of your unique portfolios?
So I would say that we have cut our teeth in almost every sector. So sector-wise, I would say in beverage, fast-moving consumer goods, telecoms. We've worked with some brands that have very huge interest in the environment. We've done pharmaceuticals, financial sector, the spread. And from each one of those sectors, we've taken nuggets of wisdom from all of them, to the point where I can safely say there's hardly a sector that we're not knowledgeable in, to an extent, even though knowledge is a continuous thing. But for us to provide quality service, we've done the rounds, and that is part of the reasons why we trust that we can provide quality service every single time, whatever the industry.
So let's get on to it we're still with Brooks and Blake. Where do you see the firm in the next 5 to 10 years, and how will the firm shape the PR industry in Nigeria? Okay,
so the answer to the first question is my answer to your first question, leaps and bounds. The future of Brooks and Blake is very bright. We've gone from just one single discipline to multiple marketing disciplines today, from digital to experiential to other companies. And that has been a growth trajectory, and offering services to quite an impressive number of clients. And then, of course, we also have the opportunity to work with clients that spans across the west and east coast or eastern regions of Africa. Presence in those markets, again, is the next steps for the company and beyond. And then, of course, there's also a never-ending exposure to unmissable talents that has given us the opportunity as well to take on proprietary assets development, as a business. And that has also opened up other vistas of opportunities. Where Brooks and Blake will be, Africa, the rest of the world, in the next phase of our growth, that's a clear vision for what we want to do. Just so that it can be said, like all the other organizations that have spread its tentacles across the continent, that great things can come out of Nigeria, to the point where our passports become respected, our persons become people that others across the continent can vie for. That's the goal. That's the ultimate goal, and we will get there.
What are the guiding principles of Brooks and Blake and its approach to work?
Okay, so we have an acronym, PISIF, which is partnership, innovation, focus, integrity, and continuous improvement. These watchwords are awesome push for us on a daily basis. And we work through the lens of all of these 5 words or at every point in time. And that has assured our growth, our development, both as individuals and as professionals in the field. I do know that as a thrust, we are aware that there's a new generation of thinking that is bubbling forth. But the cardinal rules of engagement and of growth and everything nice like that are constants, right? So regardless of that thinking or the way that the next generation sees the world, as far as they're introduced to these 5 factors, there's always something to offer positively that the rest of the world wants or the service industry is vying for. We're quite clear that this will take us further. This would also welcome the next generation of employees, part business owners, or even service providers that meet us on a daily and ensure that we are able to meet our target of excellent delivery of work for clients across the country or the continent.
If Brooks and Blake were a person, how would you describe the personality?
Assured, clear. So if you were a gentleman,
yes,
I'd say it's the guy that walks into a bar and everybody wants to be friends with. Because he's knowledgeable, he's clear, he's committed, he's ethical, and he's healthy, both as a person and in his beliefs. He's a guy's guy. He's that one that everybody believes, well, I will get something when I'm with him, and it won't be at the expense of self. I'll be better for it. That's Brooks and Blake.
Who is Taiwo Ogunwunmi?
I think Taiwo Ogunwunmi is someone who's driven every day by a need to sell himself. Not in a negative way, but in a way that enhances his environment and everyone that meets him. That's first. Second is a guy who's always learning. He's an information junkie. Just wants to know more about every other thing and people around him. The reason, you're always better for it. And he's always looking for the next good big thing. Because we got here as the human race by chasing the next big thing. The cars, the planes, the phones, the technology, language, space. And as far as we have blood in our veins, that's what every human should be. Gender, across gender. Everybody's welcome to the party as far as they're looking for a better world. That's who Taiwo is. If you meet him or you hang out with him, your view of the world would eventually be anything and everything is possible.
Can you share a story of what motivated you to pursue a career in PR? Where did the passion come from?
If I told you this was accidental, would you believe me? Not entirely, but I enjoyed writing, and I enjoyed seeing how ideas shaped narratives, or how narratives shaped the next step or evolution in human experience. And something about that stuck with me, sticks with me till this day, but how one single idea can move everyone in a certain direction. And that is what I love about technology. Not just negative tech, but technology that enhances the human experience. So I decided to see where that would take me. Unfortunately, I was interviewed by a certain gentleman who said I would be fit for a client service role. And I had to go back and do research on it. And I said, yeah, well, Yeah, I think so. But over and beyond just interfacing with people, I'd like to bring ideas to life and just sit back and enjoy how those ideas are enhancing different people's experience per time. And I do know from experience that I have been privileged to live that life and to see those in multiple ways shape. Whether I'm the one that does it or it has been pointed to me that, oh, this idea did all of this. That's what I do every day, and it brings joy to my heart, to be given the opportunity to live a part of my dream, although there are a lot more others coming.
In your career journey, what's the most important lesson you've learned?
Be kind to people. Be good to people. It doesn't matter. It doesn't take you. It doesn't matter how random the meeting is or the circumstance that brings you together. Just be good to people, because people are like water. If they are warm today and they're supposed to make someone else cooler down the journey, their street journey, it will happen if you are standing there emanating good or cool energy for that to do good for others, right? So, and the joy of just seeing people flourish has always outstanded me, in ways that I can't even put to words. So when you see a kid and you put, how you have a bottle of water and it's empty, and as you continue to fill it with water, that's how you're filling people with experiences, good ones. And imagine somebody had to drink that water at the end of the day. The fact that you're able to do that for someone, to enjoy the experience for another person, is exactly how humans are. So being kind, enhancing their experiences, supporting their dreams, helping them thrive has been a huge motivation for me and what I do.
Let's walk with a time machine now and go back to your 25-year-old self. What message would you tell this 25-year-old self who's just starting out in the PR industry?
Take more risks, live more, enjoy family. Don't take it for granted, and experience more. You will be enriched by those experiences. Yeah, that would be, and probably take up race car driving.
Interesting. I like that. Risk is very important, taking risk.
Yes, because no venture, no gain.
Can you share an important quote that's helped you in your approach to work? Or maybe in your relationship in this industry?
People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. Simon Sinek said that because purpose is everything. So purpose is really everything. It should be the driver. The long-term goal should be your raison d'etre of why you exist. So if you're a fan of the Lion's Den and you see different entrepreneurs come pitch their businesses to the Lions, these guys are hard-nosed, experienced entrepreneurs. What is the critical factor why they buy? Usually, yes, the product is there. It has to be great, obviously. But there's a thing about the person who's doing it. There's a way that he tells the story. And it's usually an amalgam of his experience or the things that he had to do to get where he is. And that's what people buy. People buy who you are beyond the ideas. So you find that a lot of times that ideas are a dime a dozen, right? Someone's thinking about it here, it's done in China. But why is that guy successful? It's because he has the grit. He has dedicated himself. He has sacrificed. There's something about him that just gives people a reason to invest in. So people buy what they are convinced that you can do, your purpose. And that has been true in every sector, regardless of what it is. And so belief is a big thing. Having a purpose is at the heart of everything that you would do. So when people say provide value, money will come later, it's based off of that principle, that there's a purpose for what you are selling. And that is what people key into. Success will come. Only a matter of time.
Thank you very much. It's been a knowledgeable conversation. Many thanks for having us.
It's great sitting with you.
I've been speaking with the Chief Executive Officer, Brooks and Blake, Taiwo Ogunwunmi. Many thanks for watching. I am Bababumi Agbibi.